All right, back here at CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. This game was never in doubt. What stood out to you as the biggest takeaway from this victory for Milwaukee?
I think you said it, or at least a big part of it. We overreact to individual games in such a big way, and the Milwaukee Bucks heard that, heard the noise that Chicago was a threat, heard the noise that maybe they're not championship contenders with the question mark about Chris Middleton for the entirety of the playoffs and the fact he won't be available in this one. And they came out and they smothered the Chicago Bulls. A very, very good offense. That 81 is the stat of the night. 81 points for a Bulls team that doesn't play great defense. They're better with Alex Caruso, but who have to put points up, who have to make sure that they are outscoring their opponents. That is an incredible, smothering, dominant, championship caliber performance. And it's a reminder, not just the Bucks are almost certainly going to win this series. It's not over, but they're the favorites for a reason. But Milwaukee is one of the contenders to win the whole thing because they do what you have to do well on both sides of the ball. We know about the offense. They're also capable of being exceptional defensively, and they were on this night.
Largest home playoff loss in franchise history for Chicago. DeMar DeRozan was DeMar DeRozan from game one, not DeMar DeRozan from game two when he had 41.
Yeah, I mean, that stat is a humiliation for a Chicago team that has their own chip on their shoulder. This is a Bulls team that for a long stretch of the season, top of the Eastern Conference standings, felt like they were the cream of the crop. A lot of talk in the Chicago media, and somewhat nationally, they weren't getting the respect they deserved. Fell down to the seed they're at now, the 6th seed, in part because they had some injuries, including to Alex Caruso, who's an important player. And so this was supposed to be a statement series. We're going to go toe-to-toe against the defending champions. We're going to show people what we're about. We're going to show with our determination, our offensive excellence, our improved defense, with our healthy squad that we can compete. And in a game where there's no Chris Middleton, where the most important player not named Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't on the floor for the Bucks Hakeem to do what they did, that is a statement about Milwaukee, and it's a statement in the wrong kind of way about the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, you know who really made a statement in this game? Grayson Allen. Consider in the first two games, he had 3 points. He had 22 in this one off the bench, 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. What'd you see from Grayson Allen?
I liked Grayson Allen. I did some radio hits early in the day, and I talked about how much I like Grayson Allen in this game, and some of the folks in Chicago didn't like that. Because remember, Allen's the guy, history of, I think it's fair to say, accusations of or a reputation for dirty play.
Yes.
Who injured Alex Caruso.
Going back to his time at Duke.
Absolutely. Back to his time at Duke. And this season when he had an incident with Alex Caruso where Caruso got injured and missed a huge chunk, and that's when the Bulls really started to slide. So for Grayson Allen to go into that building against that team that, let's be frank, they do not like him on a personal level. There's obviously the added impetus of we got to win this game for the Chicago Bulls to take control of the series. And for him to play like that is a reminder of the really impressive depth that John Horst has put on this team. Bobby Portis had a really big night, big addition. Grayson Allen had a really big night, really important role player who played like more than that on this evening. Drew Holiday's one of the big three. He was really good, but you see Grayson Allen do what he did. And that is often the recipe for championship teams to be great. It are guys who aren't going to step up every game or every series, but in some key moments they will. Go back to Sean Livingston back in the Warriors days when they were making those runs. Guys that can come off the bench or that are under the radar who can, for an evening here or there, be excellent. We know Allen is athletic. We know he can play defense. We know that defense gets physical/dirty depending on your perspective, that he's put in those kind of buckets on a night where Chris Middleton's obviously not on the floor because of injury. That says so much about Milwaukee and the different ways they can be dangerous.
They are so deep on their bench, and they can get a multitude of guys involved, including guys like Grayson Allen that can lead the way with 22 points. Not a team high, a game high in this game because Milwaukee plays stifling defense, only giving up 81 points. Okay, so no Chris Middleton rest of the first round. They were able to get it done without him in this game, in Game 3. What is your evaluation of Milwaukee, the reigning NBA champions, to this point right now?
So entering the series, entering the postseason, I thought Milwaukee was the favorite in an Eastern Conference where it's extremely crowded, right? You got to pick one. I'll take the Bucks. If I can take 2 more over the Bucks, I'll take those 2. If Chris Middleton doesn't play in the second round, assuming that they advance, and I think that's the right assumption, if he doesn't play in the Eastern Conference Finals, if they make it that far, which won't be easy, it doesn't make the Milwaukee Bucks suddenly some kind of underdog. It's not the equivalent of losing a Giannis or a LeBron James or whoever, the leader of a team, but it's a significant blow. And the East is good enough, whether it's the Celtics or it's the Nets and then on the next step, or we presume the Miami Heat, but it could be the Philadelphia 76ers, that if you're not able to have your full array of stars and really depth, it takes, I think, a Bucks team that, for me at least, would be favored in every one of those series to being underdogs. Now they have Giannis Antetokounmpo. We saw Grayson Allen step up. We know Bobby Portis Jr. can do his thing. Drew Holiday's an incredible defensive player and can score and be a facilitator for that team. But Akeem, without Chris Middleton, they're still contenders. It just, I think, brings them back to the pack in a way that could be really, really impactful when we get deeper in the postseason.
I just want to bring something up right now. I did not bring up Giannis Antetokounmpo in this entire segment, and they won the game. What does that say? He had 18 points, and they still won. Like, they needed him, obviously, but, like, they didn't need him.
No, he had a great game, very quiet, didn't play a lot of minutes, almost triple-double, but it goes back to the start of the conversation. And look, at this team, if the Milwaukee Bucks want to win an NBA championship, what they have to do is they have to be excellent defensively. And on nights where they don't have the offense going, they've got to show up defensively. And when Chris Middleton's out, that's going to be part of it. They were incredible defensively, and their effort and energy, and that's a team thing, was so dominating. Giannis didn't have to do that, Akeem. It's a long series. It's a long postseason. You got to win 16 games. Almost no team in history of the NBA has gone 16-0 or 16-1 on the way to an NBA championship. But if you can go 16-3 or 16-4, if you can play fewer games, helps you avoid that injury bug, it's a huge help. And if you can dominate in wins like this, and you can sit Giannis for part of the fourth quarter, and you can have that quiet game, and that team can suddenly be filled with confidence where they say, we got Giannis, but look what we did without him, or at least with him not having to be the guy. Man, that is a really good sign for Milwaukee.
Giannis and Grayson embarrass the Bulls on their home floor. Wow, what a win for the Milwaukee Bucks, up 2-1 in the series. One series still in favor of Miami, but the Hawks win on their home court in Game 3, 111-110. All right, back here with CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. What a finish we had in Atlanta. The last shot by Jimmy Butler, what happened there?
I don't know. It almost looked like a broken play. You have 5 seconds, you're down a bucket, you got to get a good look, go to the rim, try to make contact, or at least draw enough defensive attention. If someone's going to take a three-point shot, it's not off balance with a guy in your face. It's hard for me to believe Eric Spoelstra called the play up that way. It was ugly, and in the end, it helps lead to an Atlanta win.
Yeah, it was erratic there, that final shot, as you take a look at it right here. Look, credit Atlanta playing good defense, but look, that's what you're doing right here in this position. I mean, break it down for us.
It looks like the exact play that they called for as he moves to his right and takes an off-balance three-point shot. I don't understand why Jimmy Butler doesn't play downhill, get to the rim, get to the free throw line.
So it's a big-time comeback win for Atlanta because in the third quarter, Miami went on a 21-0 run. And you remember one night ago, Memphis went on a 21-0 run. They came back from a 26-point deficit and won. This time, it's the Hawks who stormed back after absorbing a 21-0 run. Trae Young with the game-winning shot. I mean, he stepped up when they needed him to.
I liked Atlanta in the game. I thought Trae Young was capable and due to take over a game, but you said it. If Atlanta wants to compete in this series and win another game in this series, he's got to do that more often. Don't wait till your back's against the wall to demand the ball and to really try and impose your will on the game. Kevin Huerter's a nice player. It's a deep team. I need to see Atlanta, if they want to win this thing, needs to see Trae Young doing that more often throughout the game, going toe-to-toe against, I know, a very good Miami defense. And I know Trae Young was facilitating and had a nice game. What he did in the fourth quarter, he needs to do more consistently, more often, if Atlanta's going to compete.
It feels like this is becoming a theme in the playoffs here. Relinquishing big leads. Like, it's happening. Like, we saw that with Minnesota and Memphis, a 26-point lead, gone. Miami had a 16-point lead in this game, gone. What's breaking down? What broke down in this game for Miami?
It's been really bizarre. I don't have a good answer for you because you see it from a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay, not consistent defensively, not consistently in the postseason. There's not a culture of winning. They're led by guys who are young or haven't been in the playoffs very much. The Miami Heat are a totally different story. I mean, Jimmy Butler is a great player in the postseason. Eric Spoelstra has multiple rings for a reason, one of the most impressive coaches in the NBA. And Spoelstra's mantra, to the point where I'd roll my eyes so often it would hurt when I covered that Heat team, was don't let go of the rope, don't let go of the rope, don't let go of the rope, which means stay focused, don't take for granted when we get up, don't give up when we're down, keep the focus up. If you see it from the Miami Heat, you can see it from anybody. You've said it. It's been one of the stories of this postseason. Are these runs? I don't have a good answer. Other than I think maybe the story of the last few years has been even if you get down in the playoffs, even if you get down in a game, there's a hope, there's a chance. The defending champion Milwaukee Bucks are a team down 2-0 last year to the Nets. Now they're defending champions. Maybe teams know that, are just